What's going on, everyone? It's the Niskel. Welcome back to Danganronpa. In the last episode, we got all the evidence we could get, and now it's time for the class trial, the third one. We need to figure out who murdered Hifumi and Kiyotaka. I've got all my skills set, and I'm going to have some fun with this one. At least I think. And place your bets now. How soon until everybody says, Hiro did it? Let's get going.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Wow, that was quick.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
Yeah, Hiro, you're kind of in a really bad position.
Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
Ouch.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Look who's talking!
Who are you calling a murderer?
Thank you.
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence.
Uh-oh.
Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
I would really hate to be Hiro right now. He is having the worst time, and it just started. Why not talk about it to figure out if he really did do it or not? I mean, we say we have evidence. Let's see if we can find a definitive answer.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Hiro's backed into a corner. Why don't we help him out? I think I saw something there. And just to make sure, let's take a look at the truth bullet that we actually had, Hiro's message. Read it very closely. Meet in the dining hall. And from the looks of it, especially because of the handwriting, he wrote it. So that doesn't match with something that was said in this first non-stop debate. Let's go ahead and prove it wrong. Hiro, we're gonna help you, buddy! I mean, if you do end up being the murderer, it'll shame on me.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints...
There it is. Boom!
No.
Out of here! The handwriting on those blueprints were atrocious. That can't be Hiro.
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
You heard it from him first.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
No, I don't think he is.
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
I think that's good enough for everybody then.
What?
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
I think that's a bit too silly of a solution. I'm thinking something else.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
It's almost as if Byakuya doesn't know, and he's just kind of stealthily reaching out for the answer.
So, who was in the Robo Justice suit?
I have a suspicion. Well, honestly, it was the Illuminati! No, the only one who could fit in the suit is Hiro, but let me explain more.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been.
But
Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
thrown to the dogs immediately.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
Let us explain.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
Thank you.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice suit.
Good old-fashioned frame job.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
It's what he does.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
I agree.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Passing it off to me again? Well, this is an easy one. The first one was the tarp.
I got it!
And the other piece, they go hand in hand, and since they all have one thing in common, blood on them, it has to be the dolly as well.
I got it!
I don't know why they give you 7 minutes for that.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
You told me to do it! Don't boss me around. Oh, don't make me feel as useless as I normally am.
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body.
It all makes sense.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
Sounds plausible.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room.
Man, she's got a point.
Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
By crying? Nah, I think we can crack this.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Is this beat up on Makoto Day? We're supposed to be beating up on Hiro.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Somebody's being a bitch today. Stop it. Oh, she's the nicest, meanest person I've ever seen. Alright, let's explain it. Oh, sure. And by the way, the bullet time battle is showing up way early. And they're adding something else. Let's see what it is. Reloading. This is the part of the bullet time battles that I don't like. We've got plenty of bullets to shoot down their statements, but what happens if we run out? We now have an ammo count to pay attention to. Yeah, they decided to throw it in on the third case on you. Now you have to watch for how much ammo you have to shoot down their statements. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So now, depending on how many statements are on the screen at one time, you will have to shoot them down, and for every statement you kill, that's one bullet you have lost. You have about 5 bullets, depending on what you have aiding you during bullet time battles. You can still lock on to them, but here's the new element that has been added. Along with pressing X to go along with the beat, and pressing triangle to shoot down statements with the beat, now you have to press the square button to reload with the beat. So you're going to be pressing 3 different buttons, or tapping the bottom left of the screen, which, why would you even do that? It's a lot easier with the buttons. You're going to be doing 3 different buttons during bullet time battles from now on. You got to keep with the tempo and press the different buttons. Doesn't seem too difficult, but now we're getting into a standard level of progression where everything's getting harder. Alright, time to focus. That is a good thing to note, that when you start favor time, you will get an automatic reload, and you won't lose ammo. But if you're playing Sissy Baby mode, you won't have to worry about anything they just explained. Exactly, ignore it. Thank you, tutorial text. Alright, I'm gonna have to focus here. Let's have fun.
You had it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. I cannot agree.
This should prove it. If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it.
So there.
There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Not so nice now. And maybe she really just does hate us.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
I'm sure he had a reason. Let's see where he's going with this.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
Come on, back on topic, Hina, please.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Oh, here we go.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Another discussion to figure out why Robo Justice could not have possibly done it. And hopefully this will clear Hiro of all accusations. At least I hope so. Guy's not doing too good.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over. Then you could push the dolly no problem. So the killer just crouched down and carted the body off to the repository.
If you accept everything we just said, then you must realize that whoever was in the suit couldn't possibly be the culprit.
Sorry, I don't think I realize anything.
Oh, Hiro, dude. This is your time to shine. The one big detail about the Robo Justice suit. Very big detail that has been overlooked. And this discussion will bring your innocence around. There's your big hint right there. Whoever is wearing the Robo Justice suit
And from there, the body
cannot bend over. And where is it?
Well, yeah.
Right here. Hey, Hina.
All you'd have to do
Even
is
you
bend
should know.
over.
He can't bend over.
No, that's wrong.
Suit's too thick. Suit is too stiff. You can barely move in the thing.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember? When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist.
You were the one who figured that out for us, Aoi. You forgot?
Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
Your rage got in the way of your brilliant thinking.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
Can you imagine that? Somebody in a giant robot suit just kicking a dolly with a body on it all the way to the repository? That would be silly.
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
I think I got it. Plus, you'd have to do it really quickly, so that's out.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
What, you've never done a murder like this? Come on.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Actually, the thing about the suit is, once you put it on, you're concealed in there by a latch. You can't take it off yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Hiro trapped in a robot suit. What will he think of next? Crazy maverick. It's the one big design flaw of this stupid costume. Which means, ooh, if he can't get it off himself, and I'm assuming you can't latch it by yourself. Huh. Hiro, you're starting to look more innocent by the minute. Which is a good thing.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Thank you.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it.
Another good point, he wouldn't have stuffed himself inside a locker to frame innocence.
Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, Whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
So one suspect down, that means everybody else is a suspect now.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Ooh, forgot about that.
You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
Hifumi did claim that a big robot hit him. That makes it a bit more confusing. I mean, based on all of our evidence right now and what we know, we can't have Robo Justice doing it.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
But now we have contradictory statements.
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Now we don't throw away logic. We were getting somewhere.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Kyoko with the save again, thank you.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
I like that option. Think outside the box.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
We just go crazy.
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Yeah. I can't disagree.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
Yeah, that's something I want to figure out.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened.
From point A to point Z. Let's figure this out.
I suppose we could start with this morning.
All right, recollection time.
4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
Okay.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo Justice.
Or the artist formerly known as.
It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
Yeah.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
It was like a caw or whatever. Sounded like a dying chicken, but hey, it got everyone's attention. Alright, she saw the costumed man. Further down into the hallway and disappeared. Okay.
and then...
that's when we heard Hifumi. So at the exact same time, Celeste saw the bad man while Hifumi was being attacked.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups.
One stayed on the 3rd floor, the rest of us went down to the 1st floor.
Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time.
That would make sense.
Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Something unbelievable. Something that I refuse to accept. Fumi's body disappearing.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
And then Taka's body went missing. We're all going nuts!
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies.
Bunch of dead people getting up on their own, being zombies and moving to the repository. Those jokers.
And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
It's pretty good.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Yeah, no kidding. Have you already solved it?
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them.
So, break this entire situation into pieces. I like that angle.
Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Let me think. Everything adding up to Taka's death. Let me think about that. Well, I guess talking about it would help. What did happen to Taka?